How you doing, guys? Welcome back. It's LSP. It's currently the 16th of June 2022. So it's a day after the Fed rate announcement, 75 basis points. Not really seeing much. There was a very slight chance that we were going to see some upside, but because most of this has been priced in way before the announcement, by the time the announcement came, we ended up having really just nothing. This kind of section of price just here, you can see, sort of all of this up and down. Rate is released, little bit of downside, little bit of upside, pretty much down again. Started to rally just a little bit later in the day, and then ultimately throughout the evening or nighttime, going into early hours of the morning. And then since then, we've effectively just bled all the way back to, pretty much where we started from before the rate announcement. So this kind of grinding sideways is continuing. It is frustrating, yes. It is challenging, yes. It's very difficult to kind of ascertain what's going to happen next, which makes it even worse. You really want to just kind of engage. There's a lot of people out there now, and myself included, we're kind of waiting for that moment to just say, right, I want to snap up this opportunity, because I think we all feel deep down there's an opportunity coming, right? We know it's there. We don't want to miss it. We want to be on the right side of it, but we're scared because we don't want to engage in a way that, what if I buy it now and then it tanks to 14, right? 14K, or, what if it doesn't go to 14K? What if it explodes from now? This is the balance. This is the challenge that we face every day when we sit in front of these charts, right? And we read the news and we watch videos and we go through, pretty much all of the analysis that we do is all for these moments in time, right? If I grab it now, will it tank? Yeah. If it tanks, where do I get in? Where's the best possible time? This is why I've always insisted, after I started to realize this, that having two levels on your chart and refusing to do anything until one of those two levels gets hit slows everything down and actually creates this kind of perfect investment plan. And I'll explain what I mean very briefly before we get back to the analysis. If Bitcoin hits 20K, the reaction from there will tell us something. Doesn't necessarily mean it's going to tell us everything, but it will tell us something, one piece of the jigsaw puzzle, right? And depending on the reaction, how it happens, is it aggressive? Does price just continue to do what it's doing now? Grinding. And once we see that, then we can get a better feel for what's going to potentially happen next. If price gets to 20K and starts to grind sideways a little bit, and then it explodes to the upside to 24,000, then reverses and goes back down to 20K, what's that telling us? Like, we're almost guaranteed to expect lower prices, right? Maybe it goes up and down a little bit more and whatever else, but that's not healthy. That's really not like, yeah, price is probably going to explode to the upside or even start to grind to the upside. So that's just one of a million scenarios that can play out with Bitcoin and pretty much any other asset that we're looking at. So we have to be patient. Yeah, this is the part that really makes traders and investors who they are. This moment now, and with what's happening in the markets, do we engage or do we not? And those who don't engage and wait for those opportune moments, they're the ones that pretty much make the big money, right? So again, Bitcoin not really doing much since yesterday, and if anything, showing a little bit of kind of downside pressure still. It's looking like it's probably just going to bleed down there. And I will say this as well. Be careful, because at any moment, and I just have to say it this way, just be careful, because at any moment, Bitcoin could do something really silly, right? And that's, for me, I don't think it's going to be silly to the upside, if you understand what I'm saying. I think we're probably going to end up getting something a little bit lower. And if we do get an injection of volatility that really starts to go, then we could potentially snap down to, some pretty low numbers. With all of that said, if you look at a lot of different videos out there at the moment, we're getting kind of the same rhetoric, right? This could be the bottom, and then there's lots of different reasons why this could be the bottom. Now, for those that aren't aware of this, if you go all the way back to the initial time, or the initial times when this was happening, when these lows were being formed before Bitcoin went for a really nice run, the previous ones, right? it wasn't as prevalent as it is now in the sense of the information that's coming out and what people are saying. This time, this is the one that's been the most aggressive in the sense of the bottom could be in. Here's the numbers to show this. There's a 200 moving average, prices going through that for the first time ever, and all this kind of stuff, right? Which leads me to believe that the bottom simply isn't in. Yeah. I'm a contrarian by nature. And if I can verify that contrarian thought or that contrarian idea, then all the better, right? And the more we see people saying that a bottom could be in, the more likely it is that that bottom isn't in. So my point being with all of this, be careful. Just be careful. Take your time. Let the market do what it's going to do. Even if price explodes to 40,000, it is going to pull back eventually. And when it does, it'll probably go to say 32 or 30, and then maybe start to run again. I'd much rather get it here after all of that confirmation than even trying to catch a falling knife, right? So that's Bitcoin at the moment. Binance, not much better. If we just go to chart number 3, a bit of a simpler chart, really. We've got this level down here at about 185, which we could quite easily sort of run into sort of sub 200. There is an argument to be made that these kind of 200 levels and the 20,000 level on Bitcoin can be met with, or could be met with, some buying, because there may be some limit orders there, or there may be some orders there for people, kind of watching and really waiting for these moments in time. But to be honest, Bitcoin's been spending so much time in this very, very tight range, just hovering above 20,000. I don't think it's going to make much of a difference. I think it's probably going to accelerate through that level, to be honest. The longer it stays there, the worse it's getting, effectively. So coming back to Binance, I don't think it's going to be a stretch of the imagination to see Binance at, say, 185. Yeah, it's a pretty decent number. Haven't seen it for a while. We're very close to it. And again, Bitcoin starts to run, Binance is just going to follow suit. Now, obviously, there is a level down here which is absolutely insane, 45. I don't believe for 1 second we're going to be seeing 45. Anything can happen in the market, obviously, but the reason it's there is just so I can gauge the range from where we are now to the level of liquidity, to the rebalance, to the liquidity, to the rebalance, and then obviously down at that 45 level. Excuse me. Sorry, guys, my allergies are really flaring up today, so that's why I sound a bit bunged up. Now let's go over to Ethereum again. You can see this monthly level down here at 735. If we kind of focus on the 750, right? First of all, again, we're $100 off 1,000, right, on Ethereum. And it is very possible for Ethereum to go sub 1,000, especially with the market conditions and what's happening. So it's a wait and see. It's about being patient. It's about waiting, watching very carefully, very closely to the small nuances. And when the time comes to engage, I think we will know. I just want to say a massive thank you as well before I go to everybody. One, that turned up to the live stream yesterday, but two, you guys hold me in a high regard. And the reason I mention this is because, that's not an easy thing to do, right? I, talk to you guys on a daily basis. I'm, doing my best to kind of educate you and keep you calm in the markets, all through experience. Obviously, a lot of this stuff I've done myself, and I've lost money, and I've gone through that process. And I want to say thank you, for giving me the trust and obviously having confidence and faith in me, with my analysis and some of the things that I kind of go through and teach you guys. So huge thank you to everybody. And we'll just continue doing what we do. So with all of that said, I hope everyone's having an absolutely fantastic day or evening, wherever you are in the world. And I will catch up with you guys sometime in the later update. All the best, guys. Take care. Ciao for now.